everyone, it's Tammy Pally, aka the Crafty Princess and Doll Collector, and today's video is about how to pre-order a Blythe doll. In particular, I'm talking about the Neo size, which are the larger of the three Blythe dolls because they are the more popular ones. I definitely there are releases of the middies and the petites, but the Neos are the ones that get most of the attention, and I think they're probably more worth talking about because sometimes they can sell out before you get a chance to get one during pre-order. So and if anybody out there, this video is for newbies, so if anybody out there who has some Blythe doll collecting experience want to add comments about what I say that are helpful, I'd appreciate it. I am not a complete expert on Blythe doll collecting, but the other day I was on a Facebook page. A new doll had come out and everybody was commenting about this new release. It was the December 2017 release. I don't even remember her name now. She didn't tickle my fancy a whole lot. She was cute, but I was thinking, well, I'll just wait for the photographs to come out. So, but anyway, somebody in the thread was a total noob and asked about how does it work when you pre-order a doll. And I realized, you know, I remember a few years ago when I started collecting Blythe dolls, I also did not understand the process of pre-ordering a doll. It just seemed awfully strange to me. Why don't you just buy a doll and get the doll? Why isn't the doll just available? You buy it, you get it. What's all this pre-order stuff, and what's the point of it, and all that kind of thing. So in the background here, in fact, is my most recent acquisition, which is Garden of Joy, which was a pre-order for, what is it? It was for October. Well, she's a release. Her release was October 2017. But yeah, so I'm going to basically explain how the pre-ordering works for Blythe dolls. So there are a limited number of retailers who sell Blythe dolls, period, and most of them are in Asia. For example, there is Junie Moon, and there is also CC Toys and Mandrake. I actually have another video related to how, you know, where to buy these dolls, and I'll try to remember to link that in the description below. But basically, what happens is these retailers, specifically Junie Moon and CC Toys, from what I gather, they usually have the first opportunity to offer dolls on a pre-order basis. So what happens is Takara brings out a new released doll, they call it a new release, but they create a new stock doll. And Takara's pretty active. I know, like Groove, for example, who creates pull-ups in the last year or so, has been kind of slacking on bringing out new dolls for whatever reason. I don't really know. Yeah, Takara's been on it, and I think at this point when I'm publishing this, and, you know, not publishing because I haven't published it yet, but when I'm filming this video right now, at this point, I believe that there's about 10 releases out already and we're nearing the end of 2017. I'm filming this in about mid-October-ish, almost mid-October. What's today's date? October 7th. Okay. So, okay, the end of the first week of October, there's already 10 Takara releases out. And she was the latest one right here. So what happens is Takara doesn't tell everybody what the releases are going to be in the future, which is kind of frustrating because, you know, it's nice to know if there's a particular doll that you might want, you could start saving up for it early. However, there are leaks on Facebook and Instagram and that kind of thing that if you're in some of the doll groups, you will get to hear people say, hey, I heard, for example, that there is a doll that's going to come out that is supposed to be some sort of garden goddess, which was this doll right here. Or, hey, I hear there's a steampunk doll coming out. But all of that is up for speculation. That doll may show up or may not. It's all rumor. But I did remember hearing about this particular doll, that she was going to be a special anniversary doll, and it had some sort of connection to, you know, kind of fairy garden-y type stuff. And I knew that that was the type of doll I would be interested in. So I started saving my money and plotting and planning. So then once the doll is released, or not even released totally yet, pre-orders, the doll isn't really out yet, but there's enough information about the doll that they start offering the doll for sale, and eventually you are going to get the doll, but they want your money up front so that you order her early. That's what the whole pre-order is about. And very often it starts off with just a drawing of the doll, And for me, I really like to have photographs, but for this doll, I actually went ahead and bought her right when I saw the drawings. I knew that it was close enough to make me happy. If they would have had to do some really massive changes to her to disappoint me. So I went ahead, and that's the first time I ever purchased a Blythe doll, basically almost sight unseen. I just saw the drawings, and their illustrations, and they're very nicely done, but there's a caveat in there that things could change, that this is just a rendering, and there's very little detail as far as things like all the eye colors, the eye chips, the makeup, what type of face up she has. Usually you're going to get something pretty basic, like they're going to tell you if she's fair skinned or, in this case, translucent. I knew, it did say she was going to be translucent early on. And so you only get like a very little bit. The face mold, that's usually kind of it at the beginning. They don't give you very many details. They give you a drawing, they tell you how much it costs, and then places like Junie Moon and CC Toys have them for sale. Junie Moon, usually, if it's a very popular doll, they very often will have a lottery where you have to enter the lottery and get a chance to pre-order the doll. If you don't win the lottery, you don't get to order the doll through them. CC Toys, on the other hand, they don't do a lottery. They just put the doll up for sale as a pre-order. They usually cost a little bit more, but you are ensured that you will, if it's there for you to purchase pre-order, you are going to get the doll from them. You don't have to be concerned that maybe they're not going to have enough or whatever. So it does cost a little bit more, but also the CC Toys, the cost of shipping is rolled into the final cost of the doll. So you know what you're going to be paying. There's no surprises later as to an additional cost for shipping or anything like that. So you pre-order the doll, they invoice you, you pay, for the doll, and then you wait and wait and wait and wait for your doll to arrive. And sometimes you could wait at least a month or more. I have, there's a doll that's pre-ordered now. She was pre-order, was it last month? It's called Sherry Victoriana, I think. And she's a steampunk doll. She came out for pre-order. In fact, I think at the time of this filming this, I think she's still available for pre-order on CC Toys. And they've pushed her release date back, the date that she's going to come out and actually be sent out to people, for a month. So even though everybody thought she was going to come out and be released in October, it's going to not be until November that doll will be shipped out to people who purchased her, because they made a change in the doll. They changed the belt of the doll. That's what they've told everybody, that the doll's belt was light brown, now the doll's belt is dark brown, and so that's going to push back production an entire month because of that change. So that means if you bought the doll, you're waiting an additional month for her, and you've paid for the doll. So your money, they have your money, and you have no doll. But that's just the way it works. What could happen eventually is, the doll will be up for pre-order and she sells out, and but sometimes they'll come back. As an example, with Pineapple Princess, which was a very popular doll, a translucent tan doll that came out this past few months. I can't remember the date. I'm sure somebody can tell me if you want to put it in comments. And I did a video of her because I did get her. Pineapple Princess, she sold out very, very quickly on CC Toys, but then she came back and sold out again, like in minutes, and then she came back. So I think when I got her, she had been back, I think I got her on the second time she rolled around on CC Toys. She's still actually available. I've seen her. I think Junie Moon has her now. So that could happen where it sells out quickly. You don't get to pre-order it. However, you may be able to purchase the doll later after she does, her release actually comes out and people get her. They could have more dolls available from the manufacturer. Of course, you can also purchase from other collectors who maybe purchased the doll and changed his or her mind later. So that's something that could happen as well. But the release date means that's the date that the doll's actually physically going to be sent out. So if a release date says something like October 15th, 2017, then on that day or around that day, maybe a day or two after, she will be shipped out to those people who pre-ordered her. And then, of course, depending on where you live, you wait. For me, CC Toys usually takes about 2 weeks, and I live in Florida and the U.S. So it usually takes a minimum of 2 weeks before I get anything from CC Toys, just because they're very far away. So also with CC Toys, you do not get any kind of invoice, or you get an invoice because you've paid it, but you don't get any kind of tracking number or anything like that. And from what I've heard, even if you ask them for a tracking number and they send you one, the tracking number doesn't work. So, but all of the dolls that I have purchased, I've also purchased clothing from CC Toys, it all eventually shows up. So I trust them to buy things from personally. So, but yeah, you have no tracking. You don't know when that doll's going to show up. She just does. So be nice to your mail carrier, because it usually comes United States Postal Service. It'll come through that the post office. So make sure that you're nice to your mail carrier, and let him or her know that you have an important package coming from China. So, but yeah, that's how it works. It's kind of a strange system, but if you want any of the newer dolls, that's how it works. Of course, you can always wait. I mean, if you don't want to go through the pre-order process, you can wait and possibly buy the doll later. But a couple of things could happen. Of course, obviously, the doll could be so popular you can't get her at all. But that doesn't usually happen. I haven't really personally seen that in the past few years that I've been collecting Blythes. I haven't seen where a doll's become so popular that you can't buy her at all. However, I have seen where the doll becomes popular and people jack up the price. And that was like Anna Sui, that was with her. That was ridiculous. I saw people doubling the cost of that doll. More than doubling that cost. That doll was almost $300 from CC Toys, and not long after, when the pre-orders were out and done, I saw her for $600 to $800 where people were reselling her. So if you wait and then you decide, well, I really do want the doll, and you miss the pre-order process, that is the least expensive probably you're going to find that doll. If the doll is very popular, more than likely the cost of that doll is just going to go up. It's not going to go down. And I really haven't honestly seen the price of any dolls go down, even the ones that aren't super popular. So just, that's kind of how the collecting is. For example, my very first stock doll was Country Summer, and I want to say she was $118 or something like that. And last time I saw her, which I haven't even seen her at all lately, but I think the last time I saw her on CC Toys, she was $170 or something like that. She's gone up significantly. And now, like I said, I'm not to say that you couldn't go searching and try and find her somewhere. Mandrake tends to have a lot of stock, even though some of their stock is, dented boxes, and possibly, they were items that were used as displays too. So they do have a large inventory. But yeah, so you may still be able to find it, but that's just the way it works. So, so yeah, it's not a terrible process, but it would be nice if we didn't have to go through pre-orders and the doll was just, when she's available, you get her. But that's I should also say, so after the illustrations are out, and she's up for pre-order, the doll's up for pre-order, I don't know what time, there's no specific time period, but say a week or so, 2 weeks later, they will also release photographs of the doll. And for me, I'd much rather see the photographs, so, and I normally will wait for the photographs to come out before I pre-order a doll. Like I said, this is the only time I didn't, was with Garden of Joy, because I just knew that was the doll that I wanted no matter what. So, but yeah, so they can also bring out photographs later, and yeah, that's, in fact, now I'm thinking about it, did I do that with Pineapple Princess? I might have also just bought Pineapple Princess from the illustration. But if you really want something, then the illustration should be enough. But if you're not sure, just wait, and the photographs from the manufacturer will come out eventually, and CC Toys and Junie Moon will post those photographs. So it's a good idea to actually go, and if you want to keep up to date with the releases that come out, besides of course Facebook groups that are run by collectors, it's a good idea to like it's a good idea to like the CC Toys and Junie Moon Facebook pages, because they will send out notifications of when a new release is up for sale, and that's how I usually find out, through them first before the groups find out, because usually they post it and then somebody on a group will say, hey, CC Toys just posted this, or Junie Moon just posted this. So by that time, other people have already found out about the dolls. So yeah, I hope that makes some sense. It's something that it seems a little odd if you aren't into the hobby. Once you get into it, it's kind of like, well, duh. But then I realized when that person asked that question, I thought, that's really a good question, because I remember the first time I bought a pre-order and I was like, what the heck is going on? You want my money now, but I'm not going to get the doll right away? Why would I do that? So yeah, that's kind of how it works. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments. And like I said, if you want to add any additional information that you feel is important and pertinent to this, also feel free to add those in the comments. As usual, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful Dolly Day. Goodbye.